Okay, so that should set up chat so that it's working properly. But just in case, I'll open up on my phone too. Oh, that's my chat room. Okay, so yesterday we left off having gotten the ActixX web server for our overlay up and running. So it's a very basic site. It's not really anything special. But more interestingly enough, we had finished getting the WebSocket server and the chat bot set up. So that way we can actually receive WebSocket messages from the server on this overlay. We're then going to be able to print out these chat messages on the screen. And so that way we can now start doing interesting things like setting up well, whatever we feel like at this point in time. Like so. Good morning, stacking, and yes, it is indeed working. Now, of course, it's looking pretty ugly right now, but that's because it's completely unstyled. But let's go ahead and maybe get started. Do Command Shift. Twitch overlay. Let's open up code here. Okay, so we have our general overlay.css. So here is the general overlay. This is where all the chat messages are going in. We also have the general overlay.css and a general overlay.js. So all of this code so far is just for listening to the WebSocket and then injecting them into this spot right here. So what I'm thinking I would like to do is now style this, sort of like figure out how I want it to look here. Okay, so front end starting up. One thing that's interesting is that there is no nickname here. That's also really interesting because this was a message received from the client, but nickname wasn't sent at all. I guess it's because it just didn't exist. That's all we ended up getting. That's from right here. Front end starting up. Almost feel like sending the string ping. And that way it will just come in, it'll come into the chat window so we can know, oh, it's alive. Okay, so listen for messages. Right, because that was returned by the WebSocket server, not by the chatbot. The chatbot is the one that was appropriately sending things like this. Things like this. Okay, so now we have this. What does it look like? We have a header and we have a p tag for the actual paragraph of text that somebody might put out. Let's put a border around that. These are going to be inside of chat class, the first div. So in CSS, okay, so this is going to be in the chat class, and it's going to be the first div. We want to have a not use empty rule sets. I'm not going to. Don't worry. We're going to have. Do I want to have like an outline? I don't know if I want an outline or if I just want to have a background color. I was thinking of something dark gray, but so if I'm gonna go above this area right here, this is what it's gonna look like in the end. So it's gonna come above something like this. I'm not sure exactly what the best color to look like with it. Maybe like a really light gray. You just try light gray. That actually kind of looks decently white. It can be hard to tell how it feels. Okay, so I have a background color of light gray. We have let's just start one rule at a time. We don't need to recompile for these changes, so it'll be nice. JSON.parse unexpected character at line 1, column 1 of the JSON data. What did I get back? That's oh, it didn't even try. So I sent something, got something back that was unable to be parsed. I sent bang ping. Let's go open up code on the server side. Okay, so I want to go into the Rusty chatbot server. Up code here. This isn't a WebSockets. No, the chatbot. Oh, the chatbot doesn't get bang ping. The chatbot is what cares about bang ping. So if I set in a WebSockets bang ping, it's actually not going to work for that. So maybe not just sending anything at all. Because in the WebSocket, okay, well, I have this ability to do txsend web. Where am I handling? Can I respond into chat? So implement handler for server on message. So we have out send a message, which is the, but that's just the WebSocket. For chatbot, we have RC send private message channel. So if I try to make this available, it's going to become a deadlock because they're going to rely upon each other to be able to send their individual stuff. So I'm just not going to worry about it right now. And maybe what I'm going to do is just not send. If you wanted the WebSocket into IRC, you'll need to do another channel. Yeah, like a third channel, but then on top of that, I have to probably do another loop to make sure to basically say like, hey, it might be even better to like do another thread because there's a chance that like they both sending each other stuff. If they send each other stuff and like, well, I'm waiting for you to send it. Well, I'm waiting for you to send it. Deadlock. So I'm not going to worry about that right now. Instead, end this over. I'm just not going to send anything at all. In fact, I don't know if I need. I don't know if I need to have a connection opened for this to work. So I'm curious about that. We had enough deadlock. Ah, keep on refreshing the wrong window. Okay, so I open this up. If I send a message out over here in the chat window, will this still work? So let's try it. We'll say hello. Yep, and it's working. And so here's our gray. And the first thing that I'm noticing is the gray just like stops right at the edge of this. I like a little bit of padding. So the padding is going to be the inside part of the border box. So let's add a little bit of padding to this. We can actually do the inspector to make this look the way we want to. So for these divs, okay, we have background color, we have padding, and we can do like 5 pixels. Oh, ew, look at that. It's higher in a, oh, I'm gonna have to do a reset. I need a reset. I want to go grab a CSS reset. This it. Perfect. So I'm going to grab this. Let's come into here. So we have in static. I want to add a new file called reset.css. And in my index.html, before my style sheet, here's my style sheet. Let's go ahead and bring in this link. So we'll have a link tag. href is going to be static reset.css. Unfortunately, this is updating the index.html, so we will need to recompile with this one. Let's see, so this is Twitch overlay. Now the reason why I'm doing a reset here is because I don't want any like paragraph tags is going to have like margins and paddings, and I want to be able to have complete control over the look and feel of this. So this is going to be much easier for me to now basically not have whatever any of that stuff is. So we have our I'm not seeing it here. So it's running. Which overlay? Our console. Can I actually see? So one thing that's interesting in this head, I'm not seeing the I'm not seeing that resets.css come in. So that didn't get changed. This is the Rusty chatbot server. That's not what I want. So it is definitely this one, the Twitch overlay. It's running. Maybe we need to hit no. I saved it. Link rel style sheet href /static /reset.css. Oh, you know what would be helpful is if I put content in the file. Do I need to recompile then? That was like an instantaneous, so it didn't find anything new. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not getting any more. No more links, just that link is still in there. So here you are in Twitch overlay. Inside, this is in static, right? Not in general overlay. So in static, reset.css is right here. We take a look at index.html. Oh, I put it into index.html. I don't want to put it in index.html. That's the problem. Save there. I want to put it into general overlay.html. That's where it goes. That's my problem. Okay, we have to recompile now. So we found out that we had to recompile because it is putting the contents of the file into the binary itself. So while those things are in static, they're not, I mean, they're kind of static, but their actual contents are in the binary, whereas the like CSS and JS files are not. Okay, so now in head, here's our reset CSS. Okay, so perfect, no errors. Let's do another hi. And so now I should be able to, for this div, we have this background color. I should be able to do padding of like 5 pixels. And now it's even all the way around. So that's perfect. So we can do something like padding is 10 pixels or so. I'm feeling confident enough about using using pixels here because the stream is not going to change, and so if it ends up doing that, I have to change the numbers anyways, regardless. So it should be fine. Now the other problem is that this is streaming out at 1920 by 1080, so it might be good. How can I tell it responsive design mode for 1920 by 1080? Okay, so this is what it's gonna end up looking like. It's a little bit interesting. I wish that I could just take a screenshot. I wish I could make that zoom down a little bit. Maybe what I could do is a minus. So this is what the entire picture is going to end up looking like over the screen. And that may be large enough. It may not. We'll probably gonna have to compile, deploy this, and actually try it and see what it looks like. But okay, so if I begin with this, we have our Berserker high. We now want to give it a width so it doesn't take up the entire width of the screen. So we have padding. Let's give it a width of, well, I don't know if we're gonna be able to. We want it to be no more than this, right? That feels like 1/4, less than 1/4. What if I use the viewport width? So view width. Oh, it's gonna be something like, let's do 1 view width. I want it to be at least, okay. So if there's 100 view width, 25, so let's do 20. That feels a little bit small, but we are simulating this entire window, which would cover what we entirely see here. So maybe 25 would be good. Okay, so that gives us what the text can be. Let's give a gap between these two also. For right now, I want to begin by actually pulling these in. So we have the background color of light gray, padding and width. So padding, can we make this now like a 1 width to make them all based upon the exact same thing? 2 view width is probably good. Okay, so it just wraps and stays in here, so I think that's okay. All right, so in, oh, CS isn't opened. Overlay at CSS. Okay, so we're gonna do padding is 2 view width, and our width is 25 view width. Hit refresh on that. Okay, so that should give us the same general feel here. I kind of feel like just putting in a couple sample things into the HTML, so that way it we always have those there. So in general overlay.html, inside the section we have a div. We don't give it a class. Inside of here we have a header, and this is going to be the person who sent it. So username, and then we have a p tag, and the p tag is going to be the text of what they send. And then just to keep in mind your really long one that you're doing, let's duplicate this. And we'll say for this, it's stacking, and we'll grab your entirely long text and place this into here as well. So let's recompile. I just thought of something. Should we include the Twitch API so we can pull the Twitch emotes? Eventually, probably, yeah. We probably should. That might be something to do immediately afterwards. Okay, so we have username, the text of what they send. There's this continuous gray right here, and I think that's because there's no block between there. Stacking, I think that is a perfect to-do item to add in. So in our body, in these divs, let's see, if we add a margin bottom of 1 view width, yeah, so that gives us nice little gap between them. So should also add BTTV, so we have these emotes. Oh, Feels Batman didn't actually emote here. That would be yeah, I think getting the Twitch API so we can get those emote images and then inject them in sort of image tags. I stream on Twitch but don't have BBTV. I'm the kind of human that doesn't pay attention to that kind of stuff. So you'll probably also be upset if I then ask you what that is. Okay, so let's put in, I'm thinking of like a little bit of a border below this, like a little line to denote, okay, who is talking and what they said. So we have a margin bottom. We need to add that in. Margin bottom is 1 view width. Okay, so then in chat, chat p, we want to put in a, actually no, not p, this is header. Nightdev.com better TV coggers. Was it not letting you put the put that URL in? There's a space there. Better TTV enhances Twitch with new features, emotes, and more. Coggers is an emote. Oh, interesting. So, is this like an actual chat bot type thing? Or is it just on my side? So if it's just on my side, I'm seeing it over here, but you're not seeing it. Off the take a look at that. Okay, so in chat, in the header, I want to have it just injects stuff into your Twitch client side. Okay, so basically I can figure out what they're doing and then add that in to add that into the bot. So like look for certain words, figure out what the image I want to be, and put it in an image. Put in the image tag. BPTV should have an API. Okay, I might have to do that on the front end too. That's probably the best thing to do, is have the backend not care about how it's actually going to be displayed. Okay, so chat header. What do I want to do with this? I want to have an outline. Can I have an outline? Oh, outline is for everything. I want to have a border bottom. So border bottom, syntax, width, style, and color. So border bottom, one view width, style is solid, black. That didn't take. Chat header. Oh, here it is. Oh, I'm not seeing that at all. Oh, because it's not an immediate. So I want to have something like this. That is really, 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 really thick. Okay, something like 0.3 view width. 0.3 view width should be good. And then maybe a tiny bit of space between. Okay, so 0.3, 0.3. And then in the chat header, I'm going to want to also have a margin bottom of, let's just do 1 view width and see how that looks. That actually looks pretty decent. Okay, so we're gonna get it looking like this. Then what do I want to do? I want to let's Bear Guns is now hosting us. Thank you very much, Bear Guns. Interestingly enough, that wasn't sent down here. Nationalizations is hosting me. Well, thank you very much, Nationalizations. This is not. Well, you're bored. Well, thank you anyways. I'm glad you're here, and also welcome to the stream. This is really sharp corners. I'm thinking having nice sort of like rounded edges for this. If I remember correctly, for this chat div, what we can do is it's going to be border. Right, border radius. CS isn't your favorite? It's a lot of people's not favorite. Okay, define the radii of the outer border edge. Syntax, length percentage. One through 4, or just length percentage. Okay, that's very interesting the way they wrote this. C sharp. C sharp is a fun, good language. I don't know too much about it though. Let's keep this on percentage, because regardless of how it changes, speaking of how much I hate web dev, I need to run out and get coffee. Sure, go ahead, run away. I totally understand. I won't be sad at all. No, I'll totally be sad and devastated while you're not here. But coffee is important, so let's do 10%, because I have no idea what this is gonna look like. C++ is just blah. Yeah, I mean, sort of feel that way sometimes. Okay, so this is a problem that I have with border radius, is it doesn't really look natural in that way. It looks like, so it starts this border change down here at the bottom, and it starts and then it's suddenly really sharp. And that, wonder if that's because it's just the 10%. So if I come back up here, that's just a circle. Like, part of it is because it's like going nice and gentle and then suddenly going up. I wonder, can I do other things here, like 5 pixels? Oh, that looks actually much better. Pixels looks more appropriate here. So if I do something like 20 pixels, we get a nice gentle slope between each of these, and they all look good. Okay, so we have this. Let's border radius 20 pixels. Let's put that in. Okay, what's next? I want to make these on the right side of the screen. So that's going to be interesting. The way that this works, and we sort of played around with it last time, is we're going to use Flexbox. This chat section we're going to turn into the flex, the display flex, and then we're going to have to set it to be to the right. As simple as that, right? So in CSS, we'll do dot chat. This is going to be display flex and align. I think it's justify content. Right. The items are packed flush to each other toward the right edge of the alignment container in the main axis. Let's try that. Well, not exactly what I wanted. They so it put them all in a single row. That's not what I wanted. Maybe we can switch over here. So in the section chat, justify content. Let's try align content. That's not. That's not doing anything either. Okay, so we don't want align content. I know I can make proper stuff with C# and that, but I'm just too lazy to actually finish anything. I've made like 3 things. Well, also there's motivation I found. Quite often when I begin a project, I don't really know what I want to make, and then halfway through I realize, well, I didn't really want to make it anyways. I just wanted to experiment with the language, and that's perfectly valid too, and really fun. Also, all ideas. I don't have any. I used to, when I was teaching web development, I taught a lesson on how to come up with ideas. It was really fun. I've made something with the VirusTotal API. I'm not familiar with the VirusTotal API. All right, so let's crack open the missing manual. Nothing wrong with reusing ideas to learn. Oh, definitely not. One of my favorite things to do to my students was make them make a Reddit clone over and over and over again with different technologies. I hate the saying just because it was made that you can never make. Oh no, you could definitely make things over and over and over again. Okay, so we want Flexbox. Where Flexbox that starts in, there's an overview, there's an align content property and align items. So looks like maybe starting, and then FlexFlow, justify. Okay, there's a bunch of these. Try 520, page 528. Okay, so there's the flex container, flex items. I want to make everything go over to the right. So FlexFlow, flex items by default are placed side by side as items in a row. In addition, a browser will display those flex items in a single row. So that's the problem we're having right now with this. The flex, okay, so the first, there's row and column. I want to be able to make it a column. Column displays the flex items as stacked blocks on top of each other. This is a normal way a group of divs would be displayed. So you might not use this setting very often. Ooh, okay. So flex flow, row or column. Let's try it. So in chat, let's try flex flow column. Okay, so we have column. And we also want them all to be on the right. So the align content was not helpful at all. I can't even remember how I learned things like HTML. Well, I mean, so learning things is just repetition and a passion for like just learning a new thing. The ideas thing, that's something that takes a little bit more time to do. It's for me, it's writing down ideas as soon as they come to me and being open to it and like writing them down, and as opposed to like just, oh, that's a stupid idea, I will forget about it. Now that's training the brain to not give you any more ideas. Let's see. Flow. But I do like the idea of doing the entire social media to generate ideas. Ask people on Twitter, ask your friends, see if they can. Lots of people have ideas. Maybe you can get them to tell you what theirs are, and maybe you'll like them. Okay, so we have FlexFlow this. Now I want them on the right hand side. So we don't want. Okay, so FlexFlow is the same as flex direction. Justify content is where it should place them. So I'm going to want justify content to the right and flex flow. Just never fall for the friend and see has $1 billion idea. No, that's fine. Just don't let them have the $1 billion. Then we want the justify content right. That did not work. Oh, can I do like column and right? Okay, so flex direction column justify content right is apparently not what we want. So let's get this flex direction in there at the very least, before we forget about it. So this is going to be flex direction column. Oh, nice. So you wrote a basic antivirus program. That's really cool. Okay, so here's where we have our I mean, at least we're getting them down. It just uses up a lot more bandwidth because it's uploading files a lot. So the second one, so there's flex start aligns the tops of all flex items to the top of the container. I don't want that. There's align content. There's bottom. You could try align content now, but I don't think that wasn't working. The order property, I don't really care about that. Line self. Add more to the style. I want to dig into the math. How do I get them to go to the right? There's wrapping. So I know like the traditional way is to use like margin left auto, but I want to use Flexbox for this. And don't want to add 3 columns. What do I tell it? There's they're doing a bunch of margins in here. They're doing everything like full screen. I want to just fully align them. Okay, so that this book isn't helpful in that way. So let's go to, let's try align. So we have align content and align items and align self. So if I do align content, that's not helpful. Align items. Ooh, okay. Center. End. What else do we have? There's flex end. Last baseline. Let's just do end then. So align items, end. Align items. Okay, flex end is all my this thing will work with it. Hit refresh, and here they are on the right hand side. You're working on something right now, but progress is going slow. That happens quite often. Actually, it's one of the reasons why I started streaming while I'm programming, is because I found that I tend to give up on projects a lot easier when I'm just working on my own, and I'm the only one accountable for myself. But by streaming it, suddenly I am making everybody else accountable. Or wait, no, I am held accountable for everybody else. And that really, it actually is a motivator. Heck, I went through an entire book, which I've never done before on stream because of that. So these are all showing up nicely like this. Stacking, yeah, you're here with a whip getting me back in line. Okay, so these are decently nice. We could probably play with different fonts and colors and other things, but I'm not going to worry about that too much right now, especially because I don't know how it's going to actually look against the real stream. But I want to now. We have this. So if I refresh, it is okay. So it is working. Let's see if we can add in the animations. So this is where it's going to get really interesting. I want to be able to tell them when they first appear. I want them to fade in really quickly and then fade out. Gosh, animations. Yeah, CSS animations. That's going to be the really interesting thing. So back to the book again. So this is always the fun part, playing with these animations. We got a little bit working with like the rotating stuff. I guess we could actually take a look at what we did there. Can't even figure out how to implement a dumb preloader. I remember when this used to be a Rust stream. Yeah, sorry. You cannot get away from the web. The web is everywhere these days. Okay, so in static, here's our main CSS. We created a keyframe, and then with the name of the keyframe, it started with from, so it rotated from 0 degrees to rotate 360 degrees. And we implemented that keyframe with this stuff. With like the animation name. Where was it? The animation name, the animation duration, and the animation iteration count, and animation timing function. So it looks like we're going to begin with, okay, keyframes rotate. We don't want to rotate them in. That would be really weird. Like bring them in rotating. Nobody would be able to read it. But we can play with the alpha, and these are just normal CSS. Normal CSS here. I wonder if I come in to this P, the text of what they send. Can I tell it? Is there an alpha? No. Font. Font size, font family. Okay, so I'm not seeing any alpha stuff here. I'm hearing some really weird music, but it's not being picked up by the stream, I don't think. So, because it's really faint. Just enough to make me question whether or not where it is. Is it coming out of my computer? I have no idea. Let me try. No. It is. I muted my computer, it's still there. Okay, so I want an alpha. Can I do an alpha here? Alpha transparency is page 233. Question, your sanity is intact? It's probably not anymore. Okay, so there is alpha transparency, that controlling repetition. I thought it was gonna be on this page. Oh, this is just talking about how GIFs can, certain images can be created to have transparency set. Opacity, not, okay, so opacity. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. Opacity property is page 671. It's a very big book. Opacity lets you control the transparency of any element and all of its descendants. Value is a decimal value from 0 to 1 is 0 to 1. 0 is invisible, 1 is completely opaque. Example, opacity 0.5. Miguel, good morning. Trying to break the HTML code. Yeah, sure. All right, let's do this. Opacity is 0.5, and there it is, nice and faded out. My message got blocked by your chat ban. My chat ban words. Really? So messages caught by AutoMod. Which one was it? Huh, interesting. I don't know what was being caught. And I think I have a pretty lenient filter on it. Oh, it's using the script tag. It's probably upset about you're trying to like inject code into the chat and take over. It's probably a Twitch anti-hacking thing. Your message wasn't posted due to conflicts with the channel's moderation settings. Interesting. So script. Okay, I'll have to play around with that a little bit later. B-Dog, homie G, welcome to the stream. Good morning. Okay, so we have opacity for this. What we really want to do is set the opacity for the entire chat. I'm doing really good. I've been, although it's fun to get back into CSS also after doing a large amount of back-end programming with Rust. WP Ken Patchy, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so let's come into here. We want a general overlay. So let's create our keyframes. Oh, you're not going to tell us what it is. It's at keyframes. At keyframes. The name of it, it's going to be fade in. You don't like front end? A lot of people don't like front end. But I find it's fun because it's a complete change from back-end programming, and it's really fun to be like do things that other people physically use. I like both. I think both are great. All right, keyframes. We want to fade in, so we're gonna have a from. Yeah, a from section. So in from, we're gonna have. Can I ask kind of a random question? Sure. Opacity. Front end is nothing without a back end. That's true, but the back end is not really much worth if there's not a front end for it to use that either. I need to know both to work. I just like to use the back end. All right, you haven't gotten your coffee yet, Stacking? Ah. I can just make the ugliest front end ever. Well, I mean, that's also, if you get a friend who's a designer, then you can start leaning on them to help out. But take a look at what I'm designing here. This is not the prettiest of things. Like if I used any of the other systems that like inject in the chat for me, it would be super good. Would I be interested in joining your startup company as a web dev? Thanks for the invite, but I'm actually already hired by a company. I'm starting on Monday, so I'm not going to be available for a while. Let's see. From opacity. Right, we want to start with 0, and we want to go to opacity 1. So we want to start completed faded out to 1. So we're going to start with this. In the end, what we really want to do is have them come in and then fade in and then fade out again and then disappear. But I think for this, we're going to start with this one. Now, when they come in, how do I apply it? It's just animation name, animation duration, animation iteration count, and animation timing function. So in chat, we're going to have animation. Okay, so interesting. Name, duration, and timing function. We can do this. So animation. Oh, interesting. So name is going to be fade in. Duration is I can't seconds. So this is going to be maybe 5 seconds. Timing function. Shorthand property combines 6 of the animation properties into that doesn't tell me. Let's try linear. Delay. I don't think I need a delay. Iteration count is probably just 1 by default. Direction default, fill mode default. Let's try this. So hit refresh, and they fade in like that. That's actually pretty slow. Oh, look at that. It came in right away. So they aren't not getting the new properties to add in. Five seconds is a bit much. Let's try 2 seconds. It might even be best to just do 1 second. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, the other thing is, I'm probably gonna want it to go, so fade in and then fade out like that. What I really want to do is, as it comes in, apply these, because all these new ones that are coming in are not really hitting it. Let's try this. Apply CSS animation with JavaScript. CSS Tricks. I love this site. Animations or transitions are different. This is pure JavaScript, jQuery. I want. What are you doing? Var box one. Pause and elements transition. Oh wait, so am I not supposed to use transitions instead of animations then? Okay, like we just learned, we can watch elements and react to animation. Google's the only site I like, but Google leads to all the other sites. But what happens if you want to change the CSS animation mid-animation? The animation playstate property, okay, no. How about starting an animation with JavaScript? Changing the actual animation, I don't want to change it. I just want to start it. Resetting CSS animations. The trick to do this correctly can be found here. Okay, so I think what I really want to do is start Wandable, thank you so much for the host. Use your head. Yeah, I know. They have, that's a fun section they have. Okay, so what I want to search for here is create JS. So create DOM node JS. Danny, hey, welcome to the stream. Am I coming to the Intel thing? I looked at it a little bit. I decided I'm probably not going to. Are you going to so for everybody else, there's an Intel little mini conference in town here. I applied for it, I got in, but then it's a free conference, it's 1 day, it's all day today, and I just wasn't really feeling it after I looked at the schedule. I want to add a CSS property to an element with JS. That's actually decently easy. It's definitely advertising their neural network and USB stick thing. Yeah, and that's, I felt this is too much advertising. Okay, so create DOM node and then add CSS animation. JavaScript DOM animate. Maybe Danny, you, me and friend hired a guy to make something in Java. Supposed to be 3 to 4 days. Oh well, yeah. The best way is constant communication. Danny, I know you're super big into CSS. Maybe you can point me in the right direction. Oh, fading in new element with CSS. Look, none of this is loading in. As you see, changing a property, in this case the opacity, is not enough to have a transition. There are a few solutions to this, shown in the fiddle, like forcing a reflow, which of course is a terrible idea. I played with this and found the solution to be to not change the properties in JavaScript, which is kind of dirty anyways, but leave it all to CSS. The biggest part of the solution is not to use a transition, but an animation instead, and trigger it by applying a class to the newly created element right after adding it to the DOM. Right after adding it to the DOM. Okay, so here's the problem. We have this chat, we have animation fade in. So what it's sounding like, what I really want to do is not have this animation fade in like that. Oh, that was wrong. But instead have another one of these where we're gonna have a maybe a chat fade, like a fade in class, and all this is gonna do is just have an animation. This is gonna be fade in. Duration is going to be 1 second. Timing function is going to be linear. And then nothing else. And then we're going to apply this. We're going to apply this class to each of the elements after we put them into the DOM. Okay, so in our JavaScript here, here's where we have inject into DOM. So maybe what we want to do, so we have inject into DOM, and then we should have a add, so fade node in. Okay, so fade node in, and then eventually we can add a fade node out. So, which means that we're gonna have to return this tag. So chat div append tile tag, we now want to return the tag that's available to us. We want to then have a function fade node in. This takes in a tag. And we're going to say, okay, tag dot. What else do we have in here? There's I can never remember. It's like add class. So like add class. Tag class list dot add fade in. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. So tag dot class list add fade in. Let's try that and see what happens. So we'll save this. Refresh. Now, of course, it's not happening to these, but that's because they are existing there. Like they're just gonna sit here. So we have to wait for a new message to come in. Did that fade in? That looked like it faded in. try another one. I'll say hello. Yeah, we got a nice fade in. Okay, so then I want it to sit there for a little bit of time, and then go away. So, and this is where this river pattern of promises really helps. Test. I am also not executing this code, so it's just the strings. But I'm glad you actually tested that, because that would have been bad if it actually showed up without the tags. Okay, so worth a shot? No, definitely always is, especially because an injection attack would be terrible. Okay, so after we fade in, then we want to delay. So we want to delay a bit, and then you find stuff like that everywhere. It is a bad problem. Once we delay, we want to fade out. So fade node out. So fade node out, and then we're going to want to delete the node. So I'm going to leave that for the last little bit. So we're going to do delay and fade node out. So down here, function delay. We're going to take in the tag. So we need to return this tag too. Fun vulnerability factor, anything that can do math. That's pretty true too. What are your plans for the front end, or is this the Twitch chat panel replacement for you? This is the Twitch chat panel replacement for me. So this actually is the front end, with the back end being a Rust web server, and of course a separate Rust WebSocket server. So we're going to return the tag. We're going to take tag in here. Where's the Rust code? I don't know anything about Rust. You're just using the API with Rust? Yeah, so if we take a look here, this is a Rust, this is my Rust WebSocket server. So on one side of it, it's connecting through an IRC crate, is what they call them. They're basically libraries for Rust that are written by other people. And I'm able to use that to connect to the Twitch chat and get all the messages that are being sent. And then this sort of hands it off to the WebSocket side, which connects a WebSocket, which this front end is connecting to. And that's how I'm getting in all the messages, and I'm passing them along. But if we take a look in the chatbot for IRC, I've added in some fun test commands here. We have bang ping, bang, and bang rustbot, rustbook, and that's it. That's the only commands we have, but we can add more in later if we want to. But that will be done in the source code here. I love languages that have short keywords. The code is so beautiful and readable. Yeah, I mean, I think it's readable, but that also came after many months of playing around with it and reading through the book. All right, so what were we doing here? We were creating this function delay tag. So here's where this river pattern with promises really comes in handy, because now I'm gonna be able to do a set timeout, and we're gonna have to return. So we'll have a callback function in here, and then how long should we wait until until the chat fades out. Maybe like, I don't know if 10 seconds is right. Maybe it is. 9 years. Probably not. I doubt set timeout will not just work if the function is a sync function. So that's actually the reason why we're using promises. So I can now, we're going to return. Here's where it gets interesting. We're going to return a new promise. And this is going to take the resolve. I don't care about the reject, because this is definitely going to work. So we're going to take and resolve. And set timeout is going to go inside of here. And after set timeout, we're going to call resolve and pass in the tag. So it's just going to sit here and wait for 10 seconds, 10,000 milliseconds before calling the resolve function and pass in what we got in, which then will allow us to then run the fade node out. So function fade node out. This takes in the tag, and it's going to be the exact same thing as up here. We're going to say tag.classList.add. Well, okay, we want, can I well, at this point in time, we've already added fade in, it just runs once. Let's now add in fade out. Of course, we don't have this this fade out in here yet, so let's go ahead and add. Do not have, okay. Here we go. We now need to add in at keyframes fade out. This is going to be from opacity 1 to opacity 0, and then we'll just create a new class called fade out, and it's going to be animation fade out 1 second linear, and we'll refresh. Let's see how this does. Did I misspell fade? Fade out. Fade out. Hey, look at that. Oh no. So it did the fade out, and then it came right back after the 10 seconds. Okay, that's kind of hilarious. I want it to stay. I want it to stay. I don't want it to repeat. Like, don't you dare remove me. Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so how am I going to keep it faded out? Well, okay, once it fades out, that doesn't matter, right? Well, I guess I want it gone completely, because it's gonna be really hard to time it properly if I just like wait for 1 second and then remove it from the DOM. Like, there might be something that get like some weird timing functions that get wrong here. I want fade in, fade out to last forever. I don't want it to. You're back with your coffee, so good news. You're no longer need. Well, Stacking, welcome back. Glad you got your coffee. All right, so we need a way to keep the animation at the 2 state. So CSS animation stay stay at end. Maintaining the final state at end of a CSS3 animation. Stack Overflow, random blog. Ooh, an actual article from MDN. Okay, timing function. Defining the animation sequence. I think I don't need anything like that. Reload the page to see the animation. Okay, that's... Right, but I want it to go... I want it to stay here. To margin left, width. From margin left. Okay. Oh, so that's fine. I think what's happening is it's making it repeat, making it move back and forth. Multiple animations. Animation events. You get additional control of animation. Don't think I need that. Adding the animation event listeners. Okay, so animation start, animation end. Animation iteration. Receiving the events. The events get delivered to the listener function, which is shown. Okay. Can I remove? Okay. Adding the animation event listener. So element.add event listener, animation end. The listener function and false. Okay, so let's try that. So what this means to... it keeps on closing my my JavaScript or some of my other files. I guess it's because I'm too I've run out of room here. Okay, so we have fade node in, delay, fade the node out. Then we're gonna want to do add ending event listener. So add ending event listener. So function add ending event listener, which means that we need to return this tag too. So return tag. This takes in tag. We want to then say tag dot add event listener. Do you have a list? Will you autocomplete for me? No, you won't. Animation end all lowercase. So animation end. And this is just going to be a full function, but I'm going to need to use the real function keyword to keep this properly. We're going to have the event dynamically typed languages, not even once. Okay, so when this happens, I want to then remove, delete this tag. So can I say tag dot delay document? How do I So there's delay document, class list. I wonder if it, okay, so there's, if there's like a, is there a remove? I don't see it. Tag dot remove. So what I'm curious about is as these come in, it'll stay for 10 seconds, then it will run that other function and we'll see whether or not it removes. Let's see if there's an error in here in case like the remove is not a function. Okay, so nothing. Let's take a look if it's in here. So here's, it's gone. Oh yeah, it's gone, and this new one came up right here. So that's perfect. So now what I want to do is I want to come into our index.html for this, our general overlay.html, and let's remove these seed. Hit refresh. And notice that didn't work. I totally forgot. So we're using ActixX web server with Rust, and that means that we need to, for our Twitch overlay, quit the server and recompile, because it's taking the HTML files and it's actually storing them inside of the binary. And Rust is not the fastest. Takes 13.12 seconds to recompile. So hit refresh. All right, so then we have nothing. We're gonna get all the messages, and it should work. So I think the next thing that we're gonna do is compile this for Windows and bring it on over to this other computer we have, and then do that. Rust is compiled. Yes, it is very much compiled. So this is all working. That is, yep, nothing in the section anymore. Perfect. Let's go ahead and there is nothing open for this. Let's go ahead and add everything to GitHub. All right, so what do we want to put in here? We want to put in created chat overlay. In all fairness, any language procedure macros aren't very fast, and you do rely quite a bit on a few macros. Yeah, I do. But Rust also does need to work on compile times. The thing is, like the other I rely quite a bit on macros also over in the WebSocket server project, and it is a much faster compile. So it's ActixX is really the long compile time here. I'm setting this up to Git right now, to GitHub. Let's is there anything? I don't think this needs to be recompiled. So my chatbot is fine. Never knew anything about Rust before I saw it on GitHub. It's pretty new too. Also, before I do anything else, I do need to recompile this. So this is the fun thing. What we're gonna do is we're gonna say cargo build release, set it for the release target PC Windows, and hit return and wait for a really long time. Maybe. We're gonna see. We're compiling it with the release, so it's a fully optimized compile, which is takes a little bit longer. Well, okay, so if I compare it with 12 years as new, yeah, but also when did Mozilla take it over? Because I kind of count that when Mozilla started working with it, that's when like Rust really, like, it changed, because Rust was is no longer really exactly what it was previously. All right, 35-second compile time. I don't think we ever figured out when they took control. Yeah. I guess I could ask. Could I ask some people at Mozilla? It was always Mozilla's project. I thought they took it over. I thought like some other organization took that. Yeah, 35 seconds. So, oh, and then before I forget, we want to now copy the location. So, the binary gets put into target x86-64 release Twitch overlay.exe, and we'll put it to right here. So now our Twitch overlay is in here. It was someone inside Mozilla, but it was his own personal project the company never had full control over until a few years ago. Okay. Okay, so that's what's going on. I didn't actually know that. All right, so Sage compiled for Windows, and I'll push that up. As it was, they started because they couldn't make parallel browser engine with C++, as it was too error prone. It was written with OCaml. I thought it was written with C++. That's interesting. All right, so that's pushed up to there. So now, what we want to do is transition over. I think I need to make sure this is all. You're closed down. You're fine. I'm gonna close you down and quit out of you. Okay, perfect. So let's go over to, I have to remember also to speak a lot lower when I'm next to the microphone. So we'll transition over to the Windows dev side. No, it was OCaml. That's why it has so many functional programming features. They just brought it over from OCaml. That's cool. Well, I'm glad that we have that then. Okay, so here we are on Windows. This is the system. This is OBS. This is actually what's streaming out right now. Let's go and grab Firefox. I'm gonna go to GitHub. And Twitch overlay. Let's clone this with HTTPS. That's fine. And let's open up a. Okay, so this is the Twitch overlay. So I'm gonna quit this server. Going to get out of this. I'm actually gonna remove the Twitch overlay master. Confirm that. Yes. Okay. All right, so let's git clone this entire thing. Am I running in a VM? No, I'm running it on another physical machine that's just out of camera view out here. That's the reason why I'm now so close to the microphone. Okay, so cd into Twitch overlay. And I want to run the Twitch overlay.exe. Okay, so in here, let's test this. We'll go into localhost colon 3001/overlay. So here is the basic overlay. It's a completely empty screen, except on the right-hand side, we should get the tap messages when they show up. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do. We also have to start up. So we won't get the chat messages. Not until I start. Okay, so in downloads, we have to start up the Rusty chatbot server. So in the Rusty chatbot server, we start that up. And now for you, we hit refresh. Now we should get the new messages. Make sure there's no errors. Nothing in here. It's all looking good. I really like the release cycle. I became a lot more critical about that in other languages because of it. I mean, because it's like a relatively new team working on it. Oh, look at that. Backing and feel. That's very different looking. I'm not sure how I feel about that. But let's try it on the real site. Okay, so it's Localhost 3001 overlay. We're going to come into here and we're going to create. So we're on Windows Dev. Let's add in the new browser overlay. This is going to be just general chat. We'll just call this general overlay. Maybe I'll call it general overlay. We're going to be going to localhost 3001/overlay. Width is 1920 by 1080. 30 frames per second. We want no custom CSS. Go ahead and shut down the source when not visible and refresh the browser when it becomes active. Let's hit OK. And so it's over here on this left side. Let's transition that over onto the right too. So now new messages. There is 1 pixel. Where is it? General overlay is on the top. It's not displaying, is it? I'm not seeing it, at least. Because I would think that it should show up here. But if I move there, so if I do that, say hello. So I see it there, but I don't see it coming up. Yeah, so it's not displaying inside of here. So feels like the same problem we were having before. Okay, so that, I mean, so it's working, just my general overlay is not. Okay, so 3001 overlay, did I use the wrong Localhost 3001 overlay? Let's copy and paste. Okay, so we have you up and running. If I just do, I could take off studio mode, so it's one giant thing. All right, so that should display up here when something comes in. We'll do another hi. Nope. So comes in. Is it coming in like not coming on the left-hand side? Oh, fun things. So it's not pulling in. It's not pulling in the stuff. Nothing anywhere. That's a bit sad. Okay, let's switch back to Linux Dev. It doesn't like me. No, it does not. That's really sad that it's not working. So with the overlay, One thing that I remember is when we were working with main.css to get the rotating stuff, we had to do the WebKit mask. So what do we have to do for WebKit? Display, justify. So all of this stuff was fine. And the messages are coming up on a web browser, so it's not a deadlock. No, it's not, because they were coming up on the actual browser there. So it's just OBS that's not displaying them. And if I pull up on this side over here, general overlay, do I need that? Refresh, cache the current page. Still not like showing them, seeing them show up. So I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I want to try, okay. If I remove, let's remove that general overlay. Let's go back onto Linux Dev. Let's add it over into this one. So if it shows up, you guys can see it right away. Browser, general overlay. Or maybe I could do chat overlay. We want localhost 3001 overlay. Width is 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. Okay, I'm gonna try leaving the custom CSS in this time. I just added that right in, so that last message would probably not have gotten caught by it. Nope, still not showing up anywhere. I'm looking at the actual browser though that's showing the messages pop up. So for some reason, the Sana Lohani, good morning. Hello. I'm doing good, except OBS web browser is not being happy with me. Which is not fun. Does it not like sockets, maybe? Can I not use sockets with OBS's web browser? OBS web browser? So OBS has this browser source thing that I can use. And basically I can use that to like any elements that I put on a page are gonna now be overlaid on top of everything else. Denny did pull up the OBS code and it was using Chrome like 12 or something. But did they do anything to it? Like, are they running it? Take a default static element to test. Yeah, I think that's a good. Let's do this again. Let's add in to the general overlay HTML. Oh, I can't undo anymore. So if we put in one of these by default, so what was it? It was just a div, and then here we had a header. And the header was going to be something like testing, and a p tag. This is a test message. It won't fade in or fade out, but it will display. If I run this, if we recompile, so cargo run, Okay, so nice 13-second compile time. Come back over here and we hit refresh. We get this testing message just sitting up there the entire time. It won't be deleted. Everything else will come in underneath it. It'll be fine. Is there anything else that we can add in here maybe? Let's add in. Where is it? .js. It isn't OBS on another machine. It is on another machine, so I'm gonna have to will Cargo also compile HTML file? It is, so it's gonna compile and it pulls in the HTML file and puts it into the binary. I can't do localhost, but what I'm gonna have to do is I can push up to GitHub, pull it down on this other machine, and then we'll do that. I want to add in one more thing on here for testing. So we have this socket add event listener message. What I want to do here is do a socket add event listener. Let's do open and create a function event. And what I want to say is socket dot, I do a send. It's going to be a JSON dot stringify. I'm going to say we're gonna need the like the header and everything else. So what it's gonna look like. Who is that? It's actually, I have it right here. Nickname and message. Test a console log when event is emitted by the WebSocket. So I can't do a console log because I can't see the console of the web server of the web browser in OBS. So I'm gonna have to actually print this to the DOM. And the best way to do that is, okay, so when we do the open, we're going to send an object which has a nickname. The problem is OBS, we know the WebSocket is already working. Well, okay, the WebSocket on the server is already working, and the WebSocket in normal browsers working. Is the WebSocket in OBS working? That we don't know. So we can just do chatbot. So nickname chatbot, and then the message is going to be running. You open for this. Okay, so and let's add one more for close. So socket dot add event listener for close. Function event. Well, I guess there's not really anything to do here. You can't debug code execution in OBS. I think it's really hard for me to see. Like, maybe there is a way if I like compile OBS from source and like add in debug options, but I don't have that build for it. And unfortunately, OBS doesn't have the from web browser overlays available on what is it called? It doesn't have available on Linux, so I can't run it on Linux. I have to run it on Windows. Okay, so socket to send JSON stringify. We're gonna do this. That should then send a message here. On close, I kind of want to just create a DOM node and put that in there. So const let's do body equals document dot query selector body const error. I guess it's going to be like my title. I'll call it an error equals document dot create element. Create element. This is going to be an H1, so just really nice and large, right in like the top left of the screen, and it's text content. So then we're going to do error dot text content is going to be equal to what do we want to call this? This is going to be the web socket was closed. Unhappy face. And then we're going to say, okay, for body dot append child error. So that's it for the close. This will be black text, which may be difficult to read, but we can play around with it. And then I think there was one more. There was like a socket error. Socket dot add event listener. So close error message and open. So let's do error. And I pretty much want to repeat this entire thing. But instead of the WebSocket was closed is error. How about this? We'll just repeat the word error like a bunch of times. Because that's always awesome, right? Okay. That should be good. If I recompile this for normal, we should be able to get that opening one displaying on the screen, and it should be the same thing. It like comes in, fades in, and works. The testing. This is a test message. Chatbot is running, and the chatbot running will disappear after a while. And if we have, for some reason, a close comes in, so if I could replicate that by saying socket dot close, the WebSocket was closed. So now we won't get any more messages in here. All right, let's I'm thinking maybe to make this a little bit easier, let's cargo build and not build it for release. We'll just build it for Windows. Now, if this doesn't work completely at all, we're gonna have to switch over and create a Twitch extension. And then I'll have to go into like the Twitch dashboard, like add the extension and then overlay it on the server side, on Twitch's side. Which, I mean, might not be a terrible idea as well, but we lose some control if we do that. All right, these are faster compiles because it's not doing it on it's not trying to be super super fast about it, super optimal. It's taking long enough that I think I'm going to do a really quick break and go get myself some more water. So in the meantime, I'm going to bring. Well, I'll just let you guys see the compile finished. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Million years later, apocalypse time. Everybody's already dead. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I'll just continue on programming. And we're about to get the Blender sound too, so that's fun. Only 3 minutes, 4 minutes really, if you just take off 6 seconds. Okay, so let's do copy. This is target. Target x86 debug Twitch overlay.exe to here. We added these things in, which includes this exe here. All right, so what's our message? Recompiled with debug debug statements. And that sound, that was the blending the whole body today. No, it's blending. Somebody upstairs is blending a morning smoothie, and they have a Vitamix, so it's very, very loud. And I'm right underneath. So I'm in a basement. I'm right underneath the kitchen. So I think it's actually more the vibrations coming through than it is the sound. Although that thing is really loud. All right, let's send this on up to GitHub. And we're going to switch over to Windows Dev. So here's the overlay here. This is the chat. You can see the chat has been working the entire time. This is still setting up to, okay, so I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna get ready for a get pull. Oh man, so GitHub does not like me pushing up binaries to it. It doesn't look like. Because this is taking a long time. I guess that's because there's a lot of individual files, a lot of other like sort of crazy stuff going up. Can't push ref to remote. Okay, hold on. Fun problem. Let's try doing this on the terminal and see what happens. Get push. Do I receive chat messages by Twitch webhook or something like that? It's actually an IRC client. So Twitch publishes everything. I think they're using IRC behind the scenes, and so I'm able to get a client in a server that connects to the IRC client, the IRC server, and then that's how it gets all the messages. However, something I noticed is not all of the messages are actually used in, like, sent over to Twit, to the IRC. For example, when I got like messages that that somebody was hosting me, that showed up here, but didn't show up there. Okay, so large files detected. You may want to try get large file storage. Oh no. Okay. File Twitch overlay.exe is 101 megabytes. Okay, I did not realize that it was 101 megabytes. That's too much. How do I use? Oh my gosh, that's too big. Twitch is strange. They do half the chat over IRC, then the other half over web API. GitLab, does GitLab allow larger files? I'm not paying GitHubs. That also doesn't help. Okay, so that's a fun problem to have. And by fun, I mean absolutely not whatsoever. Okay. GG, Microsoft. Well, they haven't had time to change this yet. Maybe that will be one of the things they do. Okay, that almost makes me wonder how big was it before? All right, I want to kind of look at that. So if I go into Target, we have x86. Okay, so we have the debug and release. So we now know that it's 101 megabytes in the debug. Let's go into release and let's do ll-h Twitch overlay.exe. 21 megabytes by, so it added 79 megabytes to have the debug stuff in it. I kind of almost feel like it's just worth it to recompile for release. So cargo build release with this one. Then I can just push up the exe. Just install PuTTY or something on Windows and do rsync. Ugh, I don't want to do it. You're forgetting you have 2 whole folders filled with every single dependency. Yeah, I guess it's pulling in all the dependencies too. But those are just the files. Like I was just pulling the file over, and I was not pushing up the other builds. But in this one, notice how it's not compiling everything again. It's just compiling the Twitch overlay. So this wasn't too terribly bad. Okay, so let's copy target x86 release Twitch overlay.exe to here. I think it's 100 megabytes per project. Yeah, I think you're right, but this is overwriting that file, so it should still be this. It should keeping it the same. All right, so this is the compiled for release because debug was too big. Send that on up. I hope we don't have a problem now with, well, we may be having a problem now with if it's like stuck in this, oh, we have this older one that can't handle it. So notice we have two things to push up. I may have to now go in and like undo the commits, remove that file, and then do it again, because it might be like, oh, well, there's one commit with a big file and then another commit where it's a smaller file. Git is fun in that way. I think actually that's probably what happened because it's not done yet. Not just undo, but rewrite history. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I'm gonna have to go out and cherry pick out that commit and remove it. Just fun because I never remember exactly what the commands are for that. So I have to rediscover them every time because it only happens once in a blue moon. And this is taking long enough that I think we're about to get an error any second now. I guess I could squash also. Squash these two commits down to one and remove the other one. You can do it. You can fail or you can push it up. One or the other. But you could do it faster. All right. Thank you for failing. All right. Does this give me the ability to do anything like that? So undo last commit. I don't want to do that. Commit staged. Is there any git? What Git commands do I have? Yeah, I think it's going to be command line. I don't want to discard things. Git rebase head minus tilde3. I think squashing should also work too. Ooh, wait, can I rebase? There's no git squash here. Okay. Let's try this. First, we're going to git checkout -b backup branch. And all of our code changes should be in here now. So now git checkout master. So now if we screw that up, we're fine. Okay, so git, see if I can remember how to do this. Git rebase -i from master origin master. So going from GitHubs from the last commit we had, origin master. So recompiled with debug statements in, we want to reword use commit, squash use commit, but meld into previous commit. Will that, so if I change this to, so I could do a squash here. Oh, drop, remove commit. So I can drop, remove this commit completely and leave this one in. So I want to Control W, write out. That didn't, that's a search. I thought, okay, Control C. Oh, it's O. O is out. Control O, write out, Control X. Cannot merge binary files. Twitch overlay.exe compiled for release because debug was too high. Auto merging Twitch config, merge conflict, and Twitch overlay.exe did not apply. Compiled for release because debug was too big. When you have resolved this okay. Now we're in a merge conflict. That's fun. Okay. We just really want to delete this file and like have that done. And I think the last few commits that I did was only that file, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and git rebase abort, because I don't want to try to merge conflict an entire, like, the full file. Status. All right, let's try the other one. Git rebase -i. We could do, yeah, we could do the git log. So compiled for release because debug was too big. Recompiled with debug statements in. Compiled for Windows. Oh, and here's headmaster backup. Take the folder of compile.exe to the git ignore. Well, I want to keep that in, but I'm okay with deleting that because I could recompile it, no problem. So created the chat overlay. of what I want. So I want to go back, recompiled with debug statements in. When was this? This was at 8:36, so half an hour ago. I clearly did plenty of work between ends, so I want to go back to this commit. So let's try this. We'll check out compiled for Windows. Git checkout that commit. So we're in the history now. Let's take a look at what we've got here. In general overlay, we have the message. We don't have any of the other things. All of this stuff of like the animation end and removing a node, that's all working. So like the entire code is working this time. Our debug stuff isn't here. So that's not what we want. So git checkout master. Git log again. So I think recompiled with debug statements in. This is the problem. We did too many things. We need to like cherry pick that out. Hope to get diff for this commit. After you have committed, it doesn't ignore. Yeah, that's true. Let's commit. Let's check out this one. Copy that. Git checkout view. Okay, so we can look. Here's our open, close, and error messages, and the problem is now we have the now we're going to have the compiled. Do we have the come out? Let's actually take a look. Yeah, here's our Twitch overlay that has 102 megabytes. Dash, then git. So go back to checkout, make new branch from that, then cherry pick -n. We'll do a no commit for cherry pick. Oh, interesting. I have not done a reverse cherry pick before, which is sort of like that's what it feels like this is. So let's try that. We'll do a git branch. This is the added large exe. So git checkout added large exe. Here's our 102 megabytes. So we want to do I do git checkout git? Let's actually just look this up. Let's look up git cherry pick -n. Here's the actual Git documentation. So git cherry find commits yet to be applied to upstream. So that's what we want. What branch do we have to be in? We can do git cherry -v. It'll apply those commits to your current branch. So reminder for all the Git newbies in chat, this is why you don't commit binary blobs to Git. Well, yeah. I don't have a good way to store it otherwise. I guess I could throw it into Dropbox or something. Don't follow my footsteps. Yeah, that's probably true for a lot of things. Okay, so -n does the reverse of it, right? So like it does everything else. So from, I want to be in master now, right? So if I'm git checkout, no, -n just doesn't commit it. So if I'm in master, And if I do git, well, okay, I'm actually ahead by 2 commits. That's the other problem is I have those commits in there. I kind of want to now undo these commits, then I can cherry pick those in, or do I want to, or can I go into my history and change that? It's like git diff blah patch, you apply the patch. I think, right, so I need to git checkout back to this one. It's one further one. This one. Git checkout. We don't want that. Right. Okay. So now we want problems didn't commit very often. Yeah. So I did the problem where I didn't commit often enough, which is usually I commit decently often, but not this time. I added in some debug stuff. So if we take a look, now we have the older version of this, but we lost our debug code. So we want to do git checkout. So now git checkout -b before debug. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna do git checkout, create a new branch before debug. So now we're in this branch. We have all of this stuff. We want to now cherry pick, pull in the. There's only one file we changed, right? It's the only one file of the source code we changed. Git log master to get the other 2 commit hashes. So git log master. So this was, where are we? Ah, that was too loud. That was loud. Recompiled with debug statements in. We git cherry pick this one -n. Does -n let me pick? Let's try it. Git cherry pick -n. Oh man, I lost that one. Okay, so I'll that. So the 385 A6. Case that just applied it. And then we'll do this one. Git status. All right, so we want to unstage that one. So because if we take a look, unstage the Twitch overlay. So git, well, do I want to get reset head? How do I want to unstage that one? There's also the git check. There's the git checkout too. Git reset head. I guess I want to do, yeah, git reset head. Exactly what they say. File name is going to be the Twitch overlay.exe. Okay. Git status. Modified, don't care about you. You're still small. You have been changed. Your 2 have been changed. Okay, so let's now do a git commit -m. Okay, so what do we do here? We cherry picking the HTML and JS debug statements after screwing up the binary blob. Okay, so we did that. we're now Git repo cleaner. Oh, is there actually a Git repo cleaner application? That's cool. Okay, so we added that in. We take a look. This is still in here. Is the old? This is the old version, I believe. What I want to do now is merge this in with master, but kind of force it. Kind of want to force it, don't we? Because like now we have different histories. We're in the before debug, and I want to basically replace, push this branch onto master force. I guess I want to push, yeah. So do I want to push, or can I merge it with a force, take the other side? I guess I could just can't merge. Okay, so git push. This will go up to GitHub. It'll keep history and make merge commit. Well, next time just commit before you push up a blob. Well, yeah, I know. I should commit smaller commits. Would be better. Okay, so we need to git push. Well, okay, so if we git push, for right now, it's saying, okay, we don't have this branch up on GitHub right now. So we can just do this to create this branch. But we want to put this branch into master. But if I git, what is the command for it? It's git push to origin. I want to override master on origin. Set upstream origin master. Oh, so can I do that? I've never tried that. Oh, I'm gonna have to do a force, aren't I? Or maybe, well, it's compressing the objects first. Yeah, I'm expecting that. Boy, that's slow. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look into the large. I haven't played with git large file storage before. An open source Git extension for versioning large files. Git large file storage replaces large files such as audio samples, videos, datasets, and graphics with text pointers inside of Git while storing the file content on a remote server like github.com. Download and install the Git command line interface. Only need to set up once. Oh, can I just do that? Git LFS install. Select the file types you like. Git LFS to manage or directly edit. So like .exe. Make sure .git attributes is tracked. Okay, there is no step 3, just commit and push to GitHub as you normally would. Interesting. Okay, so we have a separate oh, we have a problem here. It's still the same. Still the same file is too large. Hold on. So that's a small file there. Git status. Oh, it's trying to replay the other commits. How many commits am I behind? Okay. Git Can I git remove? It's like git remove cache. I can git remove the Twitch overlay.exe. The following files local modifications. Use -- cache to fiche. Keep the file or -f. I'm okay with -fing this. You just try with -f. Okay, so we remove that. We deleted the Twitch overlay. The problem when you push -f, well, the problem is push -f won't work because it's still trying to push in this 101 megabyte file, right? Git push. We can do a -f now. Or if I don't do a -f, it should still, this is still going to run into the same problem, isn't it? So let's -f to remove it completely. And when we have that, all right, moment of truth. So once we have this fixed up, then we'll set up git large file storage and start storing the binary in there. Writing objects. This is not telling me how big it is completely. Like how out of how many megabytes it's trying to do. If it goes above 20, then it's bad. It'll go about 20. Or you could just have a local git repo with just a binary blob committed to it. 25. Okay, so failed because it's still trying to set up. Still trying to set up the old 101. GG, we wrecked. All right, so I want, this is before debug. We need to git remove cache. Oh, that's the other thing. Okay, so git easier plan new repo. That can be done if necessary. RM. Allow recursive removal when directory name. Okay, that's fine. Cached. Use this option to unstage and remove paths only from the index. Working tree files, whether modified or not, be left alone. You can do git diff -- name only and diff filter. All you want to do is remove from the index the files that are no longer present in the working tree, perhaps because your working tree is dirty, so you cannot use commit -a. Use the following command. And just do this. Actually, take a look at what this is going to do first. Nothing. You get nothing from that. Can I do exe? Oh, no, that's a change class. I'm surprised it complains about 100 megabytes though. I'm also curious. We go to GitHub. What happened up here? Did it get the 100 megabytes and now are we screwed? Overlay. $20.5 megabytes. Okay, so new plan. I'm going to delete the file off of here and git force pull and overwrite the master branch. Then we can just bring in the changes that we want, because there's only 2 files that we need changed. And we have enough backups in the branch just in case. And we have like the history up here too. So, and also like the changes we made were not that big and huge. Let's go ahead and delete the Twitch overlay.exe. Plus we always have GIF reflog. Yeah, we have so many different things we do. So mistakes were made. Okay, so go. That's gone. Now git checkout master. Wait, I have local files. Status. Oh, deleted. Damn, that's a big laptop. Oh, is this thing? It's a 15-inch notebook. Okay, so I just want to not care about this right now. Oh, it looks huge on camera. I guess it does. It's like stretching out like this. It's, yeah. But like 15 inches is big these days. Everybody has like a 13-inch normally. Okay, so what do I want to do with you? I could just... Can I just not care about you? I don't want to unstage you. Fine, I'll unstage you. Git reset head Twitch overlay.exe. Git checkout master. Okay, we're ahead of origin master by 2 commits. We're gonna say git pull -f. Conflict. Twitch overlay.exe deleted and modified in head, version head of Twitch overlay left in tree, automatic merge failed, fix conflicts, then commit the result. Get status. Okay. Deleted by the, interesting, deleted by them. I haven't heard that phrase specifically. On branch master, your branch and origin master have diverged and have 2 and 1 different commits each, respectively. Use git pull to merge the remote branch into yours. You have unmerged paths, fix conflicts, and run git commit. I think what I can do is the git remove -f the Twitch overlay.exe. Normally you do git reset hard origin master. I think that's probably the best way to do that. Okay, so that's different. Let's try this git pull -f again. You have not concluded your merge. Merge head exists. Please commit your changes before merging. In this case, you want to abort everything you have and just take origin master. Yeah, that's probably the best way. Let's do that. Git reset hard origin master. Head is now at this. Mistakes were made. Okay, this is all gone. Get status. We're up to date. If I try like a get push, there's nothing that can do. Everything is up to date. We're back to this. Okay, so oh, this is all fun. We tried to be too smart. We tried to outsmart it. Yeah, that was the best idea to go with. HVP17. Hey, what do you think? Rust versus Golang, which one is better? It's personal preference, really. I know people who really enjoy Go, and I've been really enjoying Rust. I think it sort of depends. Why do you want to learn each one? Think about it, and then maybe like choose that one. If it's just for fun and for learning, I don't really think you can go wrong with it. But a lot of people have a lot of opinions on it. Okay, well, we still need to get the binary over to that system. So that's like trying to compare a banana to a car. They're two complete different things you can't compare. Well, the big thing is like, what are you going to have the most fun working with? I would say go through each of the books, like go through one example project with Go through one example project with Rust, and then pick whichever one you want to do. Okay, so we have all this stuff. We now need to figure out how to set up this get large file storage. So get LFS install. I wonder if I need to do this first. So get LFS install. Was that what it was? LFS is not a get command. So interesting. Download, install the get command extension. You only have to set up. Interesting. Okay, so via package cloud. Okay, so if I want to install you, start using package cloud in minutes. Wait, I have to sign up for this, don't I? Choose an install method. Oh, apt is not an install method. Debian, I assume this is Debian, right? RPM node Python gem quick install. Well, you're saying that that's what this is. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to sign up first, aren't we? Wait, really? Okay, never mind. We're not gonna do that. That's expensive. So let me try cd. I do have Dropbox installed. Let's take let's create a folder in here called binaries. cd, okay, so documents, projects, mine, not Rusty Chatbot server. This is Twitch overlay. Okay, so we're gonna copy Actually, we probably have to recompile now to figure out like all the different. Wait a second. What's the state of our code? We should probably look at that. Okay, so these changes are no longer in here. So I'm going to do the fun easy method of doing that. We're going to do a git checkout of not before debug, maybe added large. How about added large exe? Here's our add event listener. So we want open through air. Copy this and git checkout master again. So here's our message. And we'll just add these in. That's easy. Git checkout dash, same as cd. Oh really? I did not know that there was a git checkout dash for going back and forth. Let's also, okay, so let's try it again. Git checkout dash. Your local changes to the following files would be, we have to commit these in. So added debug socket event listeners. Okay, git checkout dash. Oh, that is awesome. I did not know we could do that. In general overlay, we're going to add in this div right here. Save that. Okay, added debug tag to HTML. And then we're in master, so we can push these. We could push these changes up. And I also want to get cargo run to make sure that these are actually running still. Okay, so we have running code. Hit refresh here. We have this is testing message. We have chatbot running, and let's see if it's working. Okay, that fades away properly. Somebody send a message. Let's see if it shows up. Test. Perfect. So this is still working. What we want to do now is recompile this. So cargo build. If I don't do release, it should be fast because all that stuff was in. Yeah, so this is going to be relatively fast because it doesn't have to do everything over again. Okay, so finish that. We're now going, that was faster than the compile for Linux. Interesting. Okay, so copy target x86 64 PC Windows GNU. Then it's going to be the debug release and the Twitch overlay.exe. I'm going to put that into Dropbox. And what am I going to call this? Or what did I call it? It's binaries? Binaries. Okay, so that's now pushing up. Twitch overlay.exe. It's 100 something megabytes. Over here on my Windows computer, I need to figure out Do I have? Oh, I do have Dropbox over here. Can I open the folder? What did I use? Binaries. Oh, it says Twitch overlay is here now. Perfect. And there's a little blue check mark next to it. And it's in local disk D. These window managers, yeah. Okay, so I want to cd. Okay, so if I go there, now I can go to Dropbox binaries. Okay, so let's switch everybody back to the Windows side. I'm all about that tile manager life. Okay, so here we are. We're going to run the Twitch overlay.exe. Panicked. Oh, that's the reason. It can't find the files. It can't find the files because let's take a look here. Here's the problem. We need a static folder in there, so I need to copy that as well. So copy -R. We need to bring static over to, yeah. Dropbox binaries. Suddenly binaries is no longer a good name for this. So here's static. Is that done? Yeah, it's done already. Let's open up Twitch. Okay, running. Let's open up you, hit refresh. Okay, so we're getting, this is a chat message, and here's our running. I want to ask one question. Do you know any cross-platform audio library which is compatible with VS 2017 compiler, mainly for C++? I do not know that. I don't know C++ very well. So I don't know any audio. I don't know very many audio libraries on top of that. Okay, so here we have, this is our chat message. It's displaying up in the upper right here. So let's come into OBS, chat overlay for the Windows dev side. What are you? Localhost 3000. I want 3001. (1920 by 1080). Interesting. Shut down, refresh. Okay. Oh, well, that's not what I wanted. Sorry about that. I overwrote everything. /overlay. Okay. Hey, look at that. There's an overlay. This is on Windows Dev. So we still have quick break. We still have starting soon. We still have ending. On Windows Dev, this is appearing here. Okay. That's okay. I want to rename you. Can I rename you? Our message is not showing up. I thought that first one showed up. Rename. I want you to be the chat overlay. Name is already in use. Hey, look, so chatbot running showed up here. Okay, that's really weird then. I don't see any of the text showing up strangely there. If I move this to the side. Yeah, so we're not getting any like the close or error messages showing up. And if we take a look at the chatbot message running, that can mean it doesn't support WebSockets. But more, okay, hold on. Let's come back to Windows Dev. We have this chat overlay running. Transition back. So notice how this chat running, shows up right here, and then it fades away. That's like what we wanted to go. My code. We had. Okay, I wanna refresh this again. So in the Linux Dev chat overlay, I want to hit it just says running, which is right here. We are sending a socket of JSON stringify name chatbot message running. That is a message to our WebSocket server. Which means that it then came back into here and then ran all this stuff. So the WebSocket server is running. So WebSocket does have support. Okay, and if we come over to Windows PowerShell, sending message to WebSocket, WebSocket spawning, server got message, nickname chatbot message running. So it might be a Rust problem. It might be Rust on Windows. We're getting the message in a web browser, so it's not a deadlock issue. Why didn't I get that message here? So the last message we got, I'm going to go with no WebSocket support. Okay, interesting. So here's our Twitch overlay. Here's our chat bot. I'm going to quit out of that and restart it. Did we hit a deadlock? I don't think it's a deadlock. Reset the cache again. So we got this. WebSocket spawning, server got the message, running. But this was the WebSocket side of it. So now we have the problem of when we send a message through here, does it get hit on this side? So if I hit return a bunch, okay, apparently that's not how Windows does things. If I say like hello, we get hello. Really? And then it just works. Okay. So all of that because I needed to restart um, I needed to restart the I need to restart the chat server. It wasn't the front end. It was the back end. Okay, so now we get. Have you tried to turn it off and on again? No, I didn't, and then I did. What is this lack of Twitch emoticons? We went through this before. I'm a terrible person apparently, so that's the reason why I don't have emoticons. I am a terrible person. So now I get to come back in and remove this testing. We need to pull the Twitch emotes from the API. It doesn't come from the IRC, right? No, it doesn't. It just literally to IRC sends the specific message. I could actually show you what that message looked like. What are you looking at, by the way? Do I have the server running over here? Yeah, so you can see right here, kappa. You sent the word kappa and that send this. Okay, so okay. I feel upset that it just worked that easily. I don't know why. I wanted it to be something harder. I wanted it to be not my fault. That's really wanted it to be, and it's totally my fault. It reset because I clicked the OK button on the Windows side. So for example, if I transition back over to Windows Dev, and we take a look at this, what I want to do is for this chat overlay, I want to copy it and come over to Windows Dev, remove this browser, and add in browser chat overlay. Starting soon, let's add in the browser chat overlay. So that way it will appear there too. Quick break. Let's add it in there too. Browser chat overlay. Stream ending. Sure, let's add that in too. Everybody can see all the chats. And that's all of them. So chat overlay, chat overlay, chat overlay, chat overlay, chat overlay. So now it's not working anymore. Did it suddenly stop? It looks like when you switch screens, it also restarts the WebSocket, which is causing it to block. Oh. These buttons. Shutdown source when not visible. Nope. A refresh browser when scene becomes active. Don't do that. So I hit OK with that. Now with Windows Dev, those are off still. That's a good sign. These are okay. So it took an effect everywhere. So if here's the idea. I want to come back to here and just reset all these servers. I'm guessing you need to restart the server since the WebSockets, yeah. So I restart the server now. And I'm going to switch back over to here. And I probably need to refresh the cache. And now that should be it. Let's see if that works now. No, that didn't work. No, I wanted it to work. Okay, so no is the answer. We're getting test, and it's sending a message to the WebSocket, but it didn't do it properly. Okay. Maybe that's not what I needed to do. I don't want to quit OBS because that will obviously turn off the stream. Although like I'm past my normal long time streaming right now. Okay, so what I want to how can I blame the code. I blame the coder. Whoever made this doesn't know what he's doing. Okay, so let's quit out of the server again. This refreshing the cache is probably not what I want. Shutdown source not visible. If I do both of those, okay. Then we turn on the server. So that's working again. And then I switch to, oh, I probably have to refresh. Maybe? I mean, so the WebSocket's working, so it's connecting to the WebSocket. It was the chat part that's not. And that test is not working anymore. Okay, so as soon as I shared it across everybody, that stopped working. Fresh browser when scene becomes active. Undo that. Shutdown source when not visible. No. Here we have that. So the WebSockets are fine. It's the IRC part that's not fine. Now, once that's, I'm pretty sure you need to remove the 2 checkboxes. So I removed the 2 checkboxes. Those are gone now. When I hit OK, it refreshes this. But it's not, I don't think it's getting in new messages, even though the logs are showing that we're getting the new messages from this. So that's the other problem. Restart everything. Yeah, I could do that. Start all the things. So restart. Okay, kill you. Come over to you, kill you. Overlay is gone. This is gone. Not OBS, just Linux Cargo and Windows Cargo. And the thing is, I'm running these as binaries, not as cargo. So there could be other weird things going on with the binaries too. Okay, so this one we should start up first. So our chatbot server. I'll start up you. You're all running now. And we can switch over to, see, these are all the same. Okay, so let's go back and remove the chat overlay from everybody. Chat overlay. Rip chip chat overlay. It was never alive. Okay, can I actually add in, I can add in a scene. So I want to create a new scene called chat overlay. I removed it from everybody. Why is it still a live name? Chat over, how about this? Overlay scene. And in here, browser source, chat, we'll just call this chat. This goes into http://localhost:3001/overlay 1920 by 1080, and leave all of the stuff the same and leave those blank and say okay. Rip chat overlay. Hey, we got that. All right, do new messages come in on that? That's the next question. Okay, so it did. New messages do come in over that. Now, can I on Linux Dev come over here and add in a scene of overlay scene, say okay, and transition back to that. So the question is, will that chat now continue to appear? Yes, it does. Okay. Works. What was the problem? I was lunching. Well, the problem was I hadn't rebooted I hadn't restarted the everything. Pretty much everything needed to be restarted. We need to add anti-spamminess probably. We probably do eventually. So far, I'm a small enough. Yeah, when chat gets too busy, it will go off screen eventually. That's true. So this is a very basic one. We can continue to develop this as it as like it gets worse or better or whatever. Version 2.0. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so for right now, I want to remove this top one. It's just taking up space and it's not that good. There's other things we can do to like reduce the amount of space that we're taking up. Like this is probably more than we really need. More than we really need for it. And the other thing that I'll probably do, like, but a lot of that will be just CSS changes. I can do front end filtering for that too, or back end filtering, depending upon how I feel about it, and what tools are available in Rust versus JavaScript for looking through text and changing that. Until then, right now, let's see if I can do this twice. So I'm gonna want to remove this testing. So to begin with, I think what this means is, I'll leave this up just in case we need to go back to it. I'm gonna full screen my code. So this is kind of how I want it to be eventually. And I can now put in, I realize that I have the chat overlay, so you can actually cover me up with the messages if it gets far enough down. That will be fun to see if that happens eventually. We could eventually put like a window where it will have an overflow in there. Also, I no longer have the ability to see the chat because it's not on that page. I'm gonna have to open it up in here. All I see is like, so let me see what see Huh, I saw like so from you stacking. I don't see it on here. Oh, ping and pong won't show up. Won't show up over here. Okay, so what do we want to do now? I want to come into HTML. We're in the master branch. We removed this section. So that's gonna update. So remove the what is it called? So remove the test tag. Okay, what else do we want to do? The JavaScript in here I think is fine. So, oh, the Rust book is being sent up. Interesting. I did not think that the bot was going to send up those. Yeah, because you did Rust book, and somehow they came up twice in chat. Also interesting. But okay, so I'm going to remove that default one. What else? Do I want to play with you at all? So here's our chatbot. The way that it's deciding what to send up is if it's Rust book, we send this. We have this else in here. If the message contains ping, we do pong. Looks like when I type a bang with a command, it doesn't get sent to the overlay. Okay, so that's good. I thought I saw the Berserker bot get sent up though, to that overlay. I thought I saw it, but it's now tough because in my screen, I don't actually see the overlay. It's only being like, it's being put up there for you all. Okay, so for this bot, we have Rust book. Then we have the else. So here. Berserker sends it up, but not my actual command. Right, and that's the really interesting thing because here we get IRC client send private message. The Rust book, a great way to begin learning a lesson. Wait a second. So, is it what? Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's Berserker bot that it's catching. We've got a loop. This sends up. It goes to chat. It goes to IRC, which displays in a chat. But because it displays in a chat, it's a message because it's a broadcast. So it then comes in again as exactly this thing. So I catch it. It doesn't have bang ping, and it doesn't have bang Rust book in it. So therefore, it comes to this else and sends it up. I don't know whether or not I want that functionality. I'm not sure. I may want the function easy solution to ignore messages from BerserkerBot. I think that's what it is that here it is. So else response nickname. So we have the nickname here. We can add in this. If nickname is equal to Berserker bot, it's Berserker bot. Okay. Well, actually, if nickname does not equal, so if nickname does not equal this, then all of this stuff goes up 1 line, up 2 lines, and we'll tab it in. Okay, so here, if the nickname is not BrigZerkerBot, then response format, we create the response, we print this line out for debugging purposes, and we send this chat up. We send it up to IRC. Actually, no, we send this chatbot.tx. So we send this to the thread that will then be sent up to the WebSocket. So maybe an additional if for stacking too. I'm not going to be that mean yet. It depends. If stacking continues to not get his coffee in the morning and his and then we might have to. Of course, we might have to get a bot just to deliver coffee to people. Did it break again? No, it's still up there. Okay, hold on. The rest book. Send the command twice. That's interesting. It is sending the command twice. Oh, you know why? It's sending the command twice. Actually, I don't know why it's sending the command twice. Because it's bang restbook, and I don't think I put bang restbook in this command in the return. That's really weird that it's if the message contains restbook, unless it's getting it twice for some reason. The else command only gets fired if it doesn't equal. So if it doesn't equal one of these, you want it to just contains the string, whereas the full string restbook, even though it's in the middle of a sentence. And your stream died. Looks like we got some drop frames, over 1,000 of them. So that's not a good sign. But also it looks like we're back too. I think we might want to be, if the message is this entire thing for right now. I'm not going to worry about that too much. This is a little bit weird that we're getting that twice. We are print lining the message. We can probably see what happens. Am I running it over here? I am. Okay, so let's full screen this. We did, here's restbook. That's what came in. The restbook is a great way to learn. That's it. The restbook command will still send twice. And then here we can see this. Sending a message to WebSocket, nickname BrigZerkerBot, message the restbook. Yep, it's back. Okay, so I think the overlay is still working, but there's some quirks about it. Definitely some quirks about it. I think the biggest thing here is we don't want to send to the WebSocket when it's from, so if the nickname is not BrigZerkerBot, then go ahead and send it up to the WebSocket. That's fine. Besides that, I don't know what I want to do with this. I'm gonna leave it with that things for right now. We can debug those later. I'll probably have to create some kind of system to like add in other. I don't really have like a list of problems for it right now. Do I want to add any commands? Not necessarily. All right, so let's go ahead. You only sending messages. Do a quick rubber ducky on that else command. It'll make sense why that command never run. Okay, so else. Basically, if the message contains a bang ping, we want to only run this code. If the message contains the bang rest book, we want to run this code. Otherwise, so if it's not a bang ping, if it doesn't include a bang rest book, it's any other messages. Now, if the nickname is not equal to Berserker-bot, so if it's anybody else's nickname, I want to go ahead and create the string and print that out, and then send that on up to the server. When you send chatbox a message, can you escape the quotes? Oh, yeah. Off the sanitize any messages to do. So I probably, yeah, I'd have to go through, read all the things, find quotes in there, and insert an escape right beforehand. So stacking, I still think this is going to work, because if nickname is not equal to Berserker-bot, which means it's any other body's nickname. When you send chatbox a message, can you? I already answered that one. But what I can do is I can rerun this on this side. Not in the expect, but in the format. Yes. We can see here, sending message to WebSocket nickname CK Darby. So it is working. So that's doing what I think it's doing. Okay, so we have you stage commits only sending messages when the sender is not the bot. Is that Ubuntu in Mac? No, this is a Dell computer running Ubuntu. The Berserker bot only responds when you type them commands, which means it will never hit the else statement. Means it will never hit the else command. Well, Berserker bot only responds when you type in them commands. Well, no, because it is responding. It's responding right here. It's responding to these commands, but these commands are being hit by it again, which is why they're coming in. Which is why when we see up here, where is it? I mean, it will never hit the nickname command. It should. So if nickname is not equal to this, so basically, if the message doesn't include ping or rustbook, then it will be, it'll run this code. I think that's what I'm. That's how I'm reading this. So now I have to remember to put this high enough up for you to see it. If my head is down here blocking everything. I guess I could move myself over to this side. That's how I'm reading this, is that I am going, if the message contains a ping, it doesn't care, so this one doesn't care who's sending it. Then it will Berserker bot. I mean, it will never hit the nickname command. This one. Nickname is right here. Nickname is being created right here. So nickname is being created here. So if nickname is not equal to BerserkerBot, so it's already set. So I'm still not completely sure. It won't matter. IRC client won't hit it, but when it comes back on a message being sent, it will. That's what I'm talking about when it comes back. Because what happens is IRC client send message sends it as BerserkerBot. There is no bang restbook, so it goes out, but then it comes back in as nickname BerserkerBot. And that's what's causing it. That's what's the weirdness. This then prevents it from being sent out again as BerserkerBot. I could create. Yeah, I didn't think about the loopback would catch it. Yeah. So it's the second time. So you're right. The first time through, it won't ever run this. The second time, it will. This, like, imagine if I did this. Imagine if I did some horrible thing like Rust book : and ran that infinite loop. that would be bad. Plus also, all right, there we go. I was thinking about the first time it got sent. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we have this. This should all be good now. It's working again on this side. So I can push you up, and I need to recompile. So, Cargo. Thankfully, Twitch anti-spam would stop it. Yeah, it would stop it by what is it? Blacklisting my bot. That's not what I want. Cargo build target for Windows. I don't think so. This doesn't require. Chatbot is not caring about any of their files, right? No, it's not at all. So I don't have to worry about anything like that. The bot is a mod, which means it gets 100 messages per second, so it would take a longer time to stop. Yeah, I also modded the bot, so it can do a lot more before Twitch gets upset with it. Okay, so next we're going to let's just do this right. Let's copy target x86 release rusty chatbot server.exe to home directory Dropbox binaries, and we'll put this in there. Then we need to come back over to the other one. Here is our general overlay. We updated you, push you up. We could flood 100 messages in 20 seconds. You could, and then I would have to write, because stacking convinced me that I wasn't a big enough channel to have to worry about being flooded with messages from you all for a while now. I mean, I have 14 viewers right now, and I figure I have, I don't have too many people. You could chat normally, and we won't run into that problem. I think it's only when you guys decide to be evil that I'm going to have that problem, and then you're going to have to watch me create a queuing system in Rust to prevent that. So I guess if you really want to watch me make a queuing system for a thread in Rust, then we'd have to deal with it. Okay, so you can send 100 messages per second. Yeah, so you can flood up to the edge, and all that would end up doing is make it so that nobody can read the chat. but it wouldn't kill the bot. So I guess that's cool, maybe. All right. What was I doing? We need to cargo build this. Cargo. I'm in Rusty Chat. I'm in the wrong directory. Here we are. The Twitch overlay. Let's cargo. Let's cargo run this. Make sure that this is still running. You're compiling. We'll open you up. Running and hit refresh. And there we are. Chatbot running on its own. And that's it. And it disappears. Okay, perfect. And the next question is, when we send a message, does it come in? It does. And what's great is these are all coming in on the other side too. Oh, shit, that does work. Sorry, stacking. Is this an invitation to try to kill the bot? No, it is not. I don't want you to actually kill the bot. I would, especially at the end of the stream, because that means that I'm just gonna stop streaming right away, and that's it. Docs Mine and Toaster. Welcome to the stream. We are sort of starting to wind down because we got most of the programming done. But thank you. Wow, WTF, is this a Twitch chatbot? It is. This is a Twitch chatbot. It has some very basic chatbot commands, plus we added in a feature where it displays the chat up here, which right now is sort of a permanent, but I am currently compiling my chatbot so that I can deploy it again and not have that permanent message up there. This is why you did Q&A for a while, so you could break things. Cargo build. We'll cargo build this. H1 test 1 lol. I want to see that. Goofies. I didn't actually catch it in time to see. Script alert. Nope. Okay, so it properly sent that up in It properly sent that up in text and just displayed the text. I am not. I don't also have voting up yet. That's future. Vote queue system. Vote might be next, but that's going to be on the front end. So you need to go read the normal Twitch chat. That is a serious bug. Which one? I didn't see. Did the H1 display as an H1? Ping, ping, ping. Okay, so fun things there. Which one was the actual bug? I'll also do my copy. Copy. What is it? Target x86. They're all doubled now. Oh yeah. For some reason, it's actually getting caught only after 2. I don't know why it's doubling. That is a weird. I know why it's doubling. You know why it's doubling? Because I'm running the Twitch bot twice. Once on the Windows system and once on my Linux system. That's what it is. So all I have to do is turn this one off. And it won't double anymore. Oh my gosh, I am so glad I didn't go look into the code for that. I would have been even more upset. Okay, so in release, Twitch overlay.exe to slash we want to copy target. I also want to copy. Okay, so I want to copy the target to Twitch overlay.exe. I saw a link in here. What is I don't know if I want to leave that link in because I can't tell what it is. That's not nice. Do I need to I'm gonna go ahead and delete that message. I don't like weird links that I can't tell. How do I delete that message? Can't delete? Oh, that's too bad. Okay. Well, let's not send messages we can't see what they're going to right away. Otherwise, I'll have to do something like remove the ability to send links out. Okay, so WebSocket was closed. That's nice that I have that error in there now. Okay, so copy this target to Dropbox binaries. I'm gonna put that into there. That will come over to the Windows side right now. We also need to copy -r, the static folder, over to we can make the TwitchBot catch only approved URLs. That's actually, well, the TwitchBot can't delete them though. Auto timeout people, maybe. I'll have to look at like the commands. Like there might be some IRC commands I can do, but there's probably more of like a Twitch API that it can send to do that kind of stuff. Okay, so Dropbox binaries, we'll copy a static in there, and now we'll come over to you, kill you. So you're still showing because you're just like the static. IRC does have the timeout feature. That's not a Twitch API call. Oh, nice. Okay. So I can do that. And since I modded my bot, it does have that ability. So here, this was Twitch overlay. We want to start the other one first. This one we start. Then we start you. Then we come over to you. And all right, we want to come. Everybody, we have the overlay scene right here. We want to come to overlay scene, hit chat, and refresh cache. And there we go. We got, this is, oh, did we still get, this is a test message? Okay. We still got this as a test message. That's annoying. I started Twitch overlay. If I hit refresh here, didn't I remove that from the HTML file? I thought I did. Over on this side, this is the Twitch overlay, the general overlay. Yeah, this is gone. Also, that attempt to console log didn't show up. That's a bit sad that didn't come here. Okay, so what happened? Did you show up? No, I'm still getting nothing there. Sad life? Well, you wouldn't be able to see the console anyways, even if it did run. Because OBS's console is not visible. Okay, so where do I want... Yeah, the overlay stopped working again, which is really sad because... Okay, did I... Try running you again. Maybe it didn't get the full overlay again. Oh, see, we're still getting this test message. Dropbox up to date. Up to date. For this overlay, I copied release Twitch. Oh, look at this. I didn't build with release. That's the problem. Cargo build dash release. That's what it is. I didn't have work today, or I am between jobs right now, but oh, somehow it turned to my I am between jobs right now, but I am starting my new one on Monday. So these long streams are only for today, which is coming to an end very shortly, and tomorrow. Okay, so it's compiling this. As soon as it's done, we'll do our copy command, and then it will all be happy. So we'll do another copy of this over to binaries. We're getting... you can't see it because it's blocked by a overlay. Watching the Dropbox logo upload it. And down here, watching it download. And is it done? Okay, up to date. So you Control-C, rerun, refresh. Okay, now we only get the chatbot running. We'll kill you, restart you, and OBS. We will refresh cache of current page. We get the running. Does it rip, quit job, Twitch full time? I make no money from Twitch, so there is that. Oh man, okay. So I saw the message come in, but it didn't send. Just you watching your stream yesterday is what encouraged me to download OBS and start doing your own stream. Awesome. Well, thank you for letting me know. That's really great that you're starting to do your streams. What are you streaming? Are you streaming programming, gaming, something else? Okay, so you know what? Every once in a while, like we see that this time source not visible. Refresh. I almost feel like if we change this back to just like itself, and then go back to overlay again. Right now we're working on a message pack library in Dart. Ooh, I don't actually know anybody who works with Dart. All right, let's see if a message comes through. I could also send one. Oi. Okay, you work full time with it for a living. Awesome. That's also awesome. Error. The WebSocket was closed. Hit refresh. Does this work? Now let's try forcing the hand. Let's. Over here, if I do hi. No, okay, so it's not working here either. Did the server get the message? Did. Sending message to WebSocket. No, not exactly. Dart came out before TypeScript, but anyways, it started transparent language. But I remember they're gonna integrate into Chrome, but then something happened. So Rusty Chatbot server, we restart that, refresh. The running part works. It's just the other messages aren't working. So we're like really close, but it's also not working. Okay, never mind. It's working now. So now if I hit you, okay. Are we gonna get messages now? No, okay, so this is working. This is not. And of course, it's impossible to tell. No, I'm not seeing any like the errors. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of like the errors up here, although that might be because we don't have the overlay. Let's bring in the scene, overlay scene. Okay, yeah, so there's no major errors. Ah, that was. Yeah, we would be seeing like error if there was an error with a WebSocket in VBS. It just is not. It's like it's not loading. I mean, it is loading properly, and it's not loading properly, and that's always been like just a weird thing that I'm seeing with it. And it might be because of Windows, and it might be because of just something else. We might have to play with that a little bit later, but for right now, it is. It's been a long stream. My brain is kind of fried as it is, so I think I'm gonna end up calling it a day. Is there any code that I have forgotten to upload? No get changes here. No get changes here. Okay, we'll have to play around with this at a later time. But until then, I am going to call this as a day. This has been super awesome and fun to sort of create the front end for this, debug the Rust stuff. Clearly there's more debugging to be done. I really want to get this up and running in Rust. I don't know, maybe I will have to deploy it to like DigitalOcean or AWS or something like that to get it working properly, because it's having a little bit of trouble running the way I want it to here. But with that, I'm going to put on the stream ending screen. I can add in that scene. It seems like when I first create the overlay scene and like I set it up, it works for a little bit, but then it just suddenly stops working. No properties available. That's okay. I'll transition over. All right. Thank you everybody for stopping by and watching. As I said, it was super fun, pretty productive. We got the overlay kind of sort of working. It doesn't seem to be working right now, which is a little bit sad. I guess like what I could do is in that overlay, I could remove the chat. Yes. And one quick attempt to bring it back is we'll just create a new browser, call this chat again. That's not what I want. Local, so HTTP :// localhost :3001/overlay 1920 by 1080. Move all the CSS, make sure those two boxes are not checked. Okay. Chatbot is running, but I don't know if any of the other messages are running. I think OBS is doing multiple calls or something, which is clogging up the IO. Oh. Ooh. Studio mode. Every scene that I bring that in is doing multiple calls. That could be a problem. So in the end, the problem comes back to OBS. We'll just say that OBS. I might look into a Twitch extension, like running it off of like the official Twitch extensions, maybe creating our own. That might be really interesting. But until then, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I have the links to my GitHub repo, which includes the code. So you could go all find that there and take a look at it. You could also find me on Twitter. I'm archiving all these videos up to YouTube, and I tweet out when those get updated and the links to them. I think you really need to look into OnClose and try to clean up the old sockets. I think so too. I think you're right. I think there's a bunch of those problems to like sort of deal with and clean it up and make it a little bit better. And then I have been, so tomorrow morning will be the last day on this current schedule of the 7 a.m. Mountain Time. And at that point, we'll figure out what the next schedule next week will look like. I don't know right now. It's probably going to be random for a week or two until I settle down and find out what time I really have available. But until then, I hope that you all have a great rest of your days. And I'll see you all tomorrow morning for more development. I'll leave the screen up for a couple minutes, and then I'll start the stream.